What was it like for you to finally get your album out and receive such glowing reviews?
Really good.
It was really good. And you haven't been making music for long. You got disciplined, you got a digital keyboard, and you started turning your poems into melodies. Did you envision it would lead you to where you are today?
No. The idea of, I'll change the answer from before. I was a jazz singer originally, so I was singing other people's compositions. And because I'm not a trained musician or a trained pianist as such, the idea of writing my own was a bit daunting. Mm-hmm. So no, I never really had that in mind when I was writing the poems originally.
And how beneficial was it to have Ben Hillier on board to nurture the sound?
Great. I mean, he's my favourite producer. I mean, like a wish list of all the producers that I loved, kind of, well, going by the albums that I loved and Ben had produced. Blair's Think Tank and some of the earlier Clinic and Elbow records and Graham Coxon records and Depeche Mode ones. So it's really flattering having Ben involved in the project, and Ben is now playing drums in the band live as well.
Now your album, it's Love Your Dumb and Mad, it's enchanting from start to finish, really is an excellent album. And you cover such serious subject matters such as mental illness and relationships, both good and bad. Did you feel compelled to cover such serious subject matter?
Yeah, especially with the passing of two of my very close friends, who both very young men, really, really talented, and they both suffered from mental illnesses. And so I felt, very compelled to write about these subjects.
Let's talk about one of the standout tracks in the album, Floating. During the song you say, "Are you convinced that you're content? Do you repent?" What was the story behind the song?
Also that's based around the idea of like mental illness.
Okay.
It's kind of inspired by a Philip Larkin poem called Days.
Yeah.
And the poem Days, Philip Larkin kind of speaks about what's normal, like what's normality. And it's kind of an ode to that poem.
You take on the role of some impressive acting as well in the video for Dreary Town. I understand that the person alongside you was a professional actor, but you seem to fit in seamlessly. What was the experience like for you?
I was very drunk, so I can't remember much of it. He's a professional actor, and so we had to like kiss and all this kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. And I'm like unbelievably awkward at the best of times. Mm-hmm. So I had a few, all the drinking you can see on set, that's real alcohol.
Okay.
So it was only by halfway through the day that I became comfortable with him. And then I was like, okay, I'll do the kissing scene. I got so drunk, I was like, let's do another kissing scene. More kissing scene. But it was good. I mean, I love acting. But it's great to have people around you who are professionals, because you just kind of vibe off them, I suppose.
And you say that you need your words to be sung. Written, they seem so simple, as poems, they seem so simple, they have to be translated and sung with conviction to get the message. Can you elaborate more on that?
Yeah, well, a lot of really great lyricists that I love, their lyrics are kind of, if you were to translate their lyrics just onto paper, they're fantastic poems, they're laced in metaphor and they look great. Whereas mine, I think, it was having to write the lyrics out for the album sleeve. I wasn't as comfortable doing it because I write very simply. Mm-hmm. It was always like an intention to do so. It wasn't, I think I can write quite eloquently if needs be. But I wanted everything in colloquial speak. And so if they're just to be read like this, they might sound quite simple.
Okay.
But yeah, if they're sang with real conviction and emotion, I mean, the most simple of lyrics can sound great.
What kind of motivations do you draw upon for your live performances? Any aesthetic inspirations?
Not aesthetically, not so much. I mean, I try not to have too much bravado on stage. I mean, you won't see me in like colourful costumes and ribbons, and I don't like there to be too much going on. I like there to be simple lighting and a strong performance.
A Twitter follower has characterised your music, and you feel it's a perfect statement to basically sum up your music. Imagine Shirley Bassey playing Interpol. Do you like that statement?
I think Shirley Bassey singing the songs of Interpol, or Maria Callas singing the songs of Interpol. I can't remember which one it was, but I love that. So when I read it, it really made me laugh, because I mean, I can see this kind of dramatic side of my silly big vocal. But then like with Interpol, there's kind of those these lyrical themes are quite morbid, and they're sonically they're quite repetitive. A lot of the sounds, which we have in our music too.
Okay, and you mentioned writing sad songs. Is it true that your mum said that, or asked you, can you not write happy songs because people may think you had an unhappy childhood?
Yeah. My mum, I got one song that's called Never Tell Me Ma'am, and my mother's watching and going like, I don't know what this song's about, but she mentions me in it and I don't like it. But she's always saying because her friends, they've listened to the album and stuff, and they always comment on how dark it is or whatever. I don't think it's that dark. But my mum was very worried that maybe people thought I had a bad childhood and she was a bad mum. But no, I had a very good upbringing.
And your father, of course, you've taken influence from him. He listens to a lot of traditional Pakistani songs called ghazals. When you listen to artists such as Arda Parveen, Nusrat Fateh Khan, Ghulam Ali, what kind of impetus do you take from them? What does it make you feel like? What kind of influence do you get from them?
Well, I don't speak Urdu at all, or Farsi or anything, so I don't understand the lyrics at all. But my dad will translate bits for me, so it's a real. When I'm listening to their music, it's a real kind of. I'm not very religious or very spiritual, but I suppose it is a kind of a spiritual feeling you get from it, because these vocals are just. I find them kind of otherworldly, and the fact that I don't speak the language, but I still am very, very moved by this music, just by their vocal and the way they're using their voices. Yeah. I think that just goes to show how powerful they are vocally.
Absolutely. And you used to be a session vocalist for adverts. Is it true that you told your friends that you were the Danone girl for the yogurt adverts?
Yeah, how do you know that? I did a lot of session singing when I was younger, just to make some money. And I used to tell people that I was the Danone girl.
Actually secretly well.
Then it was a really rubbish chat-up line. Don't think I ever pulled any boys because of it, but yeah.
If you could go back in time to see any performance, who would it be?
Nina Simone. Unfortunately, she. In fact, I could have seen her in my lifetime, which is the thing that really gets me, because I think her last performance was either 98 or something at the Royal Festival Hall in London, one of her last UK ones. And I was old enough to have gone and seen that. I saw Blur in 94 when I was this big, So, Nina Simone.